I'm I'm back, kind of, and I'm wearing a suit. I'll be right back, guys. 1 second, internet. Okay, now that we've gotten that painfully unfunny visual gag out of the way, we can talk now. Hello, it's Pranav here. Hello, internet. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone is enjoying life or trying to enjoy life in these interesting and strange times. I know I am definitely finding enjoyment in what I'm doing. I have started learning a new instrument. Whether I'm good at said instrument, only time will tell. I've been watching plenty of movies, which I will discuss later, maybe towards the end of this kind of lockdown quarantine period. What all I have watched. So I'm watching lots of film, watching lots of television, especially with my little brother. Yeah, so I'm definitely keeping myself occupied. I hope all of you are as well. Hopefully, no one is too bored or too saddened by what's going on in the world right now. But it's okay to really think, you know? It's okay to think and ponder and wonder like what's going to happen, because these are definitely very uncertain times. One thing that I would say isn't very uncertain is the thanks that we as people, like everyday citizens, should be giving to, you know, healthcare workers and people who basically anybody who works at hospitals, triage centers, testing centers, people whose jobs can't be stopped by what's going on right now. Those people definitely deserve a big thanks and our support and our everlasting love, because without them, a lot of what we are enjoying now would come to a big standstill. And it's important that, you know, these workers don't, once the situation gets resolved, is they don't need to be pushed out of the limelight. We can keep giving them that kind of support and let them know that they're not going unnoticed. And we're definitely noticing, and we're definitely very thankful. And I hope everybody is doing their part by, you know, even if you aren't being under an imposed or an enforced self-quarantine, you should. Because the sooner we can all stay home and kind of limit our exposure outside or in the public, the sooner this is going to be resolved. And don't think that just because one person, you, is going to stay at home, it's not going to change anything. It will. Because if everybody decides to do that, it allows the people who are trying to crack this thing a lot more time in order to be able to do that. So I'm doing my part. I hope everybody else is doing their part too. Pull up a good TV show, read a good book, learn a new instrument, and thankfully we have cell phones and technology, so this doesn't limit our ability to interact with our friends and our loved ones. So, you know, it does kind of suck, but blue skies are on the horizon. That much I can guarantee. Okay, I'm gonna get off my little soapbox here and talk about what today's video is about. So today's video is an update. It's a fun update. I'm gonna talk about what I'm up to, what I've been up to. I did a little thing on my Instagram where I asked people to ask me questions. But mainly, yeah, I just wanted everybody to know that I'm still internet savvy, internet present. So first update is I made my last short film like 3 months ago, and it's been a long time. I've been very, very busy with school, and so I haven't had really the time to kind of work on any projects. However, the good news is I'm working on a script. It is almost completely finished with all the revisions and such, and then I will be able to shoot and film it and, wait for it, upload it to YouTube. So there will be a new short film on the horizon. There is a new short film on the horizon. I'm planning on doing a lot more videos during the break. and during my time at home, because I have a lot of time that I'm going to split with education, which is all the online lectures and the learning at home from the shelter in place that's being enforced by school, and I have a lot of time to shoot. So I'll be doing things like movie reviews, more Q&As if people are into that kind of content. I'll be doing more of those. I can do more of just kind of general content. So more stuff will be uploaded, maybe some more music. So we can look forward to more regular updates on my part. And yeah, so that's basically where I am now. It's time for a Q&A. So I asked on my Instagram for people to send me things. By the way, shameless plug, my Instagram, which will come like right here or something, is at Dilip Pranav. So that'll be right here. And there's another Instagram that you should follow of my artwork, because now I have an art Instagram just for my art, a digital curation, if you will. That'll be right here as well. So follow both of those accounts. And in the vein and interest of being vain and shameless plugging, if you like this video, there's actually a little button down there that you can hit that shows that you liked this video. And then if you really, really liked it, and if you want to see more and keep updated, you should hit the big red subscribe button. I know that's a big joke at this point, but it would be pretty cool if you did, so thanks. Okay, it's now time to answer people's questions about me or something. The first question is, what's YouTube? YouTube is this. Okay, next question. If you could be any version of Brad Pitt, which one would you be? Brad Pitt, period. Because he's a pretty cool dude, and he's been in lots of very good movies. But right now, dumb joke about the situation we're in, I'd be the Brad Pitt from World War Z, because he was pretty smart and he made armor for himself out of like cardboard and tinfoil or something. So that. Alright, who was your favorite core teacher in middle school and why? The person who wrote me this question knows that the answer is them, so I don't know why they asked this question, unless it was rhetorical, in which case it's you. Do Netflix and Amazon films deserve the same respect as theater releases? Maybe more? The answer is yes! Because when we go forward in this new digital world, 21st century and beyond, more people are tuning into streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime. So I definitely think that a lot more people are going to see movies on there than they are willing to go to their local theater. There's also very sad news of theaters being like closed down across the country in like small towns, which is super depressing. If you live in like a small town or something, or if you just live somewhere where there's a theater nearby, you should go to that theater every now and then. But anyway, online streaming service movies that are being released definitely should get a lot more attention and interest by accolade groups like the Oscars or the Screen Actors Guild or like the Golden Globes or something, because those are still movies. Some of those are really good, you know. A lot of independent films get put up on streaming sites, so you can give those kind of budding and low budget or under the radar filmmakers a lot more attention and love by going on those streaming sites. That's not to say that everything that gets put on like Netflix is gold, but it's still a way for those things to be a lot more accessible to a general public that is starting to go to a theater less and less. So, Oscar people, don't ignore something just because it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime. What made you want to go into film? This is an excellent question. So when you're like a kid, you know how you like something or you're really into something, and then like you notice as you're growing up that kind of thing stays with you, whether it's something you watch or something you like to do or a sport or something, it stays a passion. So for me, that was movies. Because when I was younger, and then like living in like Iowa or whatever, my family would sit around the TV on like a Friday night, right? And we'd watch a movie. What I can remember watching consistently was random VHS things like knockoff animated films that weren't Disney but were trying to be Disney, or we would watch South Indian movies Some of those were really good, so maybe I'll talk about that later in another video. So we did watch Indian movies, or my personal favorite is we'd watch a ton of Star Trek. Whether it was the Star Trek TV shows, or Star Trek movies, or there was a Star Trek cartoon show that came out in like the 70s, we'd be watching that. And one of my favorite things was I was really into learning like how they did stuff on Star Trek. So I would, on the DVDs that we were able to later buy, there was a lot of behind the scenes featurettes, like how they did this scene or how they did that scene and stuff. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool, bro. I wanted to learn how they did that special effect. So I was like super fascinated by that. And then as I was growing a little older, I would start to watch certain movies either in my home or in the theater. And I can really mark a time around when I watched Interstellar that I was like, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, and something just kind of clicked. And I know that's very cliche, but it just sort of made sense because I was like, I want to be a filmmaker for like the rest of my life. So that's how I really got into film, and now I'm studying my passion, and now I'm learning my passion. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? In a good place, happy, and with a bunch of muscles, and all my hair, and also doing what I love, with people I love. That's important too, I guess. Okay, here's another question. Favorite movies from 2019 and why? Off the top of my head, if I was supposed to answer this question now, it would be Parasite, which is a terrific film. If you have not seen that yet, I highly recommend it. Don't worry about the subtitles problem. It's actually not as distracting as one might think. It's also extremely gratifying to see a foreign film win in an American awards show. I was very pleased to see that, and it gives me a little bit of hope, because, you know, that could be me one day. Ford v Ferrari was really good. That's a movie that flew under a lot of people's radars. I thought that was really good. As far as Vroom Vroom Car Go Fast movies, that's probably the best Vroom Vroom Car Go Fast movie I've ever seen. Jojo Rabbit was really good. I really liked the mix of humor and story and the kind of message it had about, you know, it was a very anti-hate, love thy neighbor kind of film. So yeah, Jojo Rabbit, and I keep forgetting that Avengers Endgame came out last year as well. I really liked it. All of the weird plot inconsistencies kind of fall to the wayside for me in terms of the emotional satisfaction I got out of it, because I don't care about how inconsistent the time travel really was, which it is very inconsistent, and I don't really care about, you know, some of the little nitpicky details that don't really make any sense. There are a lot of dumb things in that movie, which, if I really think about it, will probably bother me, but I don't really care because it was so satisfying to see those 10 years of stuff come to a close for me. And I've talked in another video about why Marvel is kind of special to me. But yeah, it was extremely gratifying to see that with my friends and then to go see it with my family. So yeah, those would be the few movies that come to mind like immediately. How's the college experience like in UCSC? I live in a forest, or I lived in a forest basically, with like trees all over the place. One thing I really like is how gorgeous campus is. I haven't really seen another school that is as pretty as UCSC is, or how picturesque it is. So it's a neat balance of buildings and infrastructure combined with leaving the nature as is. So I've been having a great time in school. I've been learning a lot, meeting a lot of great people. It's definitely helped me be happy. And even if it was a rather unconventional first year in college, a lot of my UCSC peers will understand what I'm saying with all the striking and such. It was a good learning curve and a good learning experience for me, so it was good. What is your favorite Studio Ghibli film? So my story behind this is it's the first one I ever saw, which is Howl's Moving Castle. And the only reason I ever watched a Studio Ghibli film before I knew like how good they were was because Christian Bale did the English dub for Howl. And I was like, I know who Christian Bale is. So I watched this movie and I was just completely floored by the visuals and the story and the soundtrack and just how well put together of a film it was. And I was like, are there more things like this? Turns out there's a whole studio. There's a whole Studio Ghibli that existed. So all the movies I've seen since then, however, and Howl's Moving Castle included, I have watched in the original Japanese dub, because I find that the English dubs you lose a little bit in the translation, and it's better to watch a movie in its original language whenever possible. How do you get your hair so soft and luscious? Conditioner, coconut oil. Here's a great question. Why are you such a loser? This is something I ask myself every day. When I find the answer, I will let you know. So that's all the questions I have right now, so far. So that's pretty much wrapping on this video. Just kind of giving you guys an update that I'm alive and well and stuff. So yeah, hope everyone is able to spend the time indoors well, and I hope you guys have a good rest of school and a wonderful summer break. Sorry to anyone who had any travel plans. Don't travel. If I wanted to end this video on a note, it would be afraid. That's a joke. People are gonna get that, right? Okay. Alright. Bye, internet. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.